There are a lot of options out there for front end protection, and you want to make sure that what you get has both form and function. This Deegan 38 front bumper with KC LED fog lights will definitely be the protection that you may be shopping for, while having a bunch of add-ons that will come in handy down the road. With extra lighting and recovery points, this will be a very affordable option while vamping up the front end of your 07 to 18 JK, giving it a very badass look. This bumper bolts right up with a little bit of wiring for the LED fog lights, but the install is still a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter, and we'll show you more about that in just a minute. When you first look at this thing, you'll notice the aggressive look and all of the goodies that it has laid out on this bumper. To start, this is made of a heavy-duty steel construction with a 2-stage textured powder coat finish that's going to resist any rust or corrosion and be abrasion resistant from any surface damage that you might see on the trail. Along with that, this has riveted accents all over it when you install the hardware, and it makes this thing look really mean, and it will fit very well with any other aggressive styling, like the matching riveted skid plate or the Deegan 38 Angry Grill. With form also comes function, like I mentioned before, and this will have recovery points, including double welded D-ring mounts and a winch plate rated up to 12,000 pounds. With that, you also have this bull bar up top for the protection for your grille, with the addition of 2 tabs for any additional lighting for your bumper. Speaking of the lighting, this will include the LED KC fog lights in the front, and will get rid of those lower performing incandescent bulbs, giving you a little bit of refresh to your front end. There's also additional LED floodlight pods available for this bumper on the 2 outer corners that are sold roughly for about $150 at the moment. If you weren't sold on the extra lighting, this will come with 2 mesh block-off plates to complete the look. Not to mention you get the signature Deegan 38 shield mounted right up front. Like I mentioned, this will be affordable for what you're getting out of this bumper. This will be about $550 at the moment and sits on the lower end of the spectrum for price when we're talking about full width bumpers. Most full width bumper options can range anywhere from $400 all the way up to $1,500. Those options in the $400 range will usually not include the extra LED lighting or as aggressive styling as this one does. Once you get into those higher numbers, you're going to see a lot of reputable brands and bumpers like that Rugged Ridge Spartacus bumper. However, if this was a little over budget but you wanted the LED lighting, there are options by Deviate and Barricade for similar mid-width options with the LED lighting. Overall, I think with the aggressive riveted styling, strong recovery points, and lighting options from KC Highlight, that this is definitely worth the price. Install will be completely bolt-on, like I mentioned guys, making this a 1 out of 3 wrenches on the difficulty meter with a little bit of basic wiring for the lights. Now we'll pull the Jeep in the garage and show you how it's done.
For this installation, we're going to begin by removing the factory bumper. First step, we're going to remove the splash shield. You need to remove these pins. You can do that by prying up on the center section and pulling the pin out. After removing the 4 on the front section, you'll have 2 more on the rear. You'll do the same thing, pry up on those, and that will release it, allowing the panel to drop down. After you've removed all your pins, you can go ahead and remove the splash shield. Next step, we're going to use an 18mm socket to remove the 4 bolts on each side of the frame rail to remove the factory bumper. You're going to have 2 nuts here, 2 nuts on the other side of the frame rail, and then the same on the other side. We're going to use our 18mm socket and remove those. So to make it easier to access that last nut, we're going to go ahead and remove this panel right here. There's 2 push pins that you'll need to pry out with a Phillips head screwdriver. Now with the 2 clips removed and the one side of the bumper loose, you can pry on the bumper slightly, pull that panel out, Now the reason we're taking that out is because there's a canister here, and that's blocking us from accessing the nut from the bottom. So if we take that out, we'll have plenty of room to get that. You want to make sure to keep some pressure on the bumper, make sure it doesn't fall off. Once we get that last nut off, pry it out some, and then we can disconnect our fog lights in here. So we're just going to push this tab in to release them, and then we'll have to get the harness up off of the bumper as well. So we're going to take our trim panel removal tool or any kind of pry tool. We're just going to get under these and pry them up and off of the bumper. And then once that wiring harness is free, we can go ahead and remove the stock bumper. So now we're ready to assemble the bumper. Hardware provided, they give you an Allen key, or you can use a 4mm socket to make things a little faster. So we're going to begin with this plate over here. Now each one of these little bolts, we're going to put a lock washer and a washer on it. Then we're going to go ahead and thread them into the bumper. Once we have them all in, we'll go ahead and tighten those up. Now, if you're not using any side lights, we have this little plate for the backside we can install. So we'll take our cover plate, same thing, we're gonna have a lock washer and a washer on here. Set our cover plate in there, and then get the bolt started. Do the same thing for the other side. Insert the bolt with a lock washer and a washer on it. Once we have them both in, we'll go ahead and tighten them up. Next step, we're going to assemble the provided KC lights into the bracket and then install the bracket into the bumper. So first, we're going to take our light, place it through the bracket. And using our supplied hardware, go ahead and insert a bolt with a lock washer on each side. Go ahead, tighten those up, and then using our other hardware, we're going to have bolt, lock washer, washer. We'll place that through the bumper, get it lined up, insert all 6 bolts, and then we'll tighten them up. So same thing with the other side. We're going to insert our light through there. Insert our bolt with a lock washer on both sides. Place them through the bumper, and then we'll thread our 6 bolts on. Now we're ready to install it in the Jeep. So we'll set our bumper on there. We get a washer, lock washer, and a nut. We'll go ahead and insert those on the back side. So the outside two are going to be studs that poke through. So we're going to place a flat washer on both of those. And we're going to place a lock washer and then we will thread our nut on. We're going to do the same thing for the other side. Place our flat washer on, our lock washer, and then our nut. Now for the inside, we have two bolt holes here. We're going to use our supplied bolts, lock washer and washer. We'll go ahead and insert those in, thread them in by hand. Now that we have them all in, we're going to tighten them up with a 16mm socket. So after you have all the bolts and nuts tightened up, you're going to want to torque them to 40 foot-pounds. Now we're getting ready to plug the fog lights in. KC provides plugs from 07 to 10 and 11 to 17. Since this is a 17, we're going to use the plugs for that. We're going to take the two red terminals and insert them into each other. Make sure that they seat all the way. And then black is going to go to black. Then we have that set up. Plug this end into our factory harness. Make sure that clicks. And then we'll plug this end into the new fog light and make sure that clicks. We'll do the same for the other side. Click those together. Now we're just going to zip tie those up and tuck them away. And that completes your installation of the Deegan 38 front bumper with LED floodlights for your 07 to 17 Jeep Wrangler.
This is Meredith with XT, and for everything Wrangler, keep it right here at ExtremeTerrain.com.